Hello, just Jax here and welcome to my channel. We are going to go with more relief. Last time it was just like a break into it of an easy way to start, basically. Not overthinking it, just looking at texture. And for those of you new to relief, to give it an easy sum up, drawing 2D, relief is where you've got elements coming out of your drawing or your canvas or your flat surface. So it's not full-on sculpture because it's not it's not 3D, it's not freestanding like Teabag Monster. So it's not sculpture. It's working from a flat surface and bringing elements forward. So what we're going to do today is I've got just a random offcut of fiberboard here. Some cardboard. We're just going to work with that pretty much. A bit of foil. And then we're going to paper mache the whole thing. Now that's optional. You don't have to paper mache a thing. You can just go straight up with the textures. Paint it. Leave it as it is. Totally up to you. I am going to paper mache it. So I started to cut out some rough shapes because I'm going to go with a face. Now, at the moment this is quite a big face compared to the canvas size, but it doesn't matter. It's what we feel like doing. So that's what we're doing. So, hot glue gun to the ready. Now I haven't got to be too heavy with the hot glue because the whole thing is going to be paper mache. We just want to hold stuff in place. Picking out some like cheekbone-ish-esque shapes here. Again, you can make it as accurate to what, as realistic to what your theme is going to be as you like. Or we'll come back to that. We know nose is going here. Or go for a bit more of, a cubism / abstract nature. We're going for a bit more of a cubism / abstract nature today. Just because it's a bit more easy. It's a little less intimidating if you haven't tried this sort of thing before. Whereas if someone cracks out the bag something super realistic looking, once it could put people off. It could be a bit daunting if you haven't done something like this before. So keeping it nice and loose and free tends to be a pretty decent way to break into this world. So that's what we're doing. Keeping it nice and loose and free. We don't mind, like I say, we don't mind it wibbly wobbly a little bit. I am going to sink in where I want the eyes. My forehead raised ever so slightly. Or if we just want to go with some brows. Let's have a look at... We can always do this bit again. Let's put see what brows look like if we go the brow route. Yeah, I think just brows. Eyebrows. Now, hair. How should we go hair? Let's just go for it. I think we're pretty much there. I'll do something to define the eyes a little bit more. We could just keep them as sunken chasms. We'll keep them as they are. So this is going to be our starting point. Now we're just going to start covering her. Now I like to, as a personal preference, I like to use toilet roll / toilet tissue, loo roll, call it what you like. The stuff you wipe your bum with. It's so much thinner and it picks out a lot more of your detail. So like I say, it's just a personal preference. It dries just as hard and just as strong as like newspaper or kitchen roll. Any of your other options. But I find those, obviously they're quite a bit thicker. So they don't tend to sink into all the gaps that you want it to. And since we're going for texture, we want as many gaps sunk into as possible. We'll whiz forward to it being all dry. Maybe even base painted. We'll see. Right, we have our relief here, all dry and painted white, just to start out. So you can just go straight in with washes, but before we do that, in this instance, we're going to paint areas, colours that we want them to be. Then when that's dry, we're going to probably do, to keep it simple, just a straight up wash of one colour over the whole thing. Then we'll bring it back forwards with dry brushing. So I'm unsure at the moment how this colour scheme is going to go, so I've got a selection. I've got a rough idea. I'm thinking sort of a bit clown-esque. So yeah, that's what we're going to try and do. Because I was going to have a white face, but then if there's too much white going on off the bat, when it comes to washing and re-highlighting, it's going to get messy. So I'm going to go for a subtle pink, subtle pearl pink. Might even take it a touch peachy. Like I said, I've given myself options here by putting. Yeah, we'll go with that. So it's still quite pale. And it's up to you how finessey you want to be with painting your areas. I know that the wash and the dry brush is going to seep into where a lot of the joins of colour will be, so you don't have to worry too much about creating a distinct line between the portions. I just want the colour to be, in contact throughout. So I don't mind basically if the flesh runs into the hair a little bit or the lips run into the flesh a little bit. Now, what should we do with the eyes? I'm sort of tempted to have them just a bit orby. Let's just go for it, see what we got. We do this, this. We are going to just pop her in the front room and forget about her because we need her to be totally dry before we start putting a wash on. If not, and you start to put a wash on, because washes are so wet, it'll just drag all the colour away again. So that's what she's going to do. She's going to go and chill and dry off. We're dry. We're at the being brave part. Because when you put a wash on, all your colours are going to go darker all of a sudden. So you just have to roll with it. Because when you dry brush it, you'll bring it all back up. Now, you can buy washes or you can make washes. Ideally, you make them with a medium. But you can, like I have today, just make it with water. You want it thick enough. You don't want it to just run away and be as if nothing was there. You don't want it to run all the way off the cup. You want it to slowly fall down and leave a residue behind. So I'm going to do this in stages. I'm going to do the face first. Now you'll know if you've got it at the right consistency, because it won't all completely run away. Run into the cracks, but it won't just keep running to the most shallow point. If you feel like you put too much on, or you're not happy with the colour, you can just dab it with kitchen roll and it will take it right back off for you, so you can start again. All the washes are dry, and it's picked out some really lovely detail. Though we're not looking so pale anymore. So that's the wash. This is the dry brush. Now I'll get a scrap of card, because I tend to get carried away and just end up with a big blob of mess in the middle there. And I will still end up with that. With the dry brush, it is exactly what it says it is. It's a dry brush, like bone dry, minimal paint on the brush, and then we just go over lightly and it'll pick out the surface detail. So I'm gonna come in the face first and just go into dry brush that white to pale it up a bit. So literally the tiniest bit on your brush, and pretty much all of it taken off again. And we're just going to go over and lighten everything up. Now with a dry brush, like with the washes, I've already gone straight in the middle here. You can do it in layers. So you don't want to, you can stop when you've got the detail highlighted that you want. Had a thought, this is a sort of clown-esque kind of lady I've made here, or man. We don't have a red nose, and I've got a perfect circle there. Not a perfect circle, but you know, a perfect spot that's circular. So I'm probably going to go in there and do that at some point. So what I'm going to do is get just some blue here and try and show you down this corner how that looks if you just put colour. See, there's a very subtle difference between here and here. I'll get my phone up in a second to show you all. In fact, I won't touch this half just yet, so you can see the difference. It's very subtle when you just go straight up colour, but also depending on what colour you're using. Now, I've used some of this blue in the base colour, So this is just really bringing that base colour up a bit more. Right, let's just get in there so you can see a little bit of the difference. So this is going to be a really subtle difference this side from the other side, because we have just, if I can get the angle, just brought the original colour forwards a little bit, whereas over here it's all just wash. I think, let me try and see, it's so subtle you can barely see a difference. Here you can see, this is a better example at the moment anyway, where the white has come into the lips a little bit. So this is where the white hasn't touched them at all, just the base and the wash has seeped right in to all the little nooks. And this is where the white dry brush is just catching the raised edges. I think the nose can show you a little bit of everything, so you can see it's quite white on the raised bits, quite peachy with the wash, and in between it's that subtle pale flesh, like over here. Subtle pale flesh, white, deeper pinky. I don't know yet. I kind of want to keep this quite muted and have this being more forward. So I think I'll just keep with the blue for around the edge. But I'll focus on perhaps bringing the hair a bit further forwards. Like, this might go well with a yellow dry brush. So I might go white and then yellow to make it really stand out. So let's just... we'll continue getting the background done first. Right, I'm going to let that dry, clean everything up, get it super dry, the brushes as well again, and then we'll come in and we'll dry brush this white. In fact, I might do that in between things so we can then come in and focus on the next stages of colour. Undecided about the lips. We can afford to do something with the lips right now if I get another brush. A pinky silver. Right, let me go and clean everything up and let that dry. Dry brush, partly done. I finished off the blue in the background. I added a white dry brush to the hair and did the first coat with the red of the nose because I'm going to make that as red as possible, and re-white the eyes. So when we're completely done with dry brushing, I will get some black and put our little clown crosses in the eyes. Undecided what I'm going to do pupils wise or not. We might not have any pupils. We'll see. So let's get a yellow dry brush involved on the hair. I'm going to try and be... this is the only bit where I'm going to be careful because I'm going to try and not get any on the face or the background. So when we come back, this will probably be completely coated. The eyes may or may not have another coat, we'll see, and we'll apply the black detail. Everything else is staying as is. We're very nearly there. I had a little thought and ran with it. I was going to give it like a little bow tie or something, but we've gone for a little old school worker's tie. It's a working clown, so it's got a worker's tie, but a bit miserable looking because, you know, we're a bit of a miserable looking clown. So we're going to go in and add the black crosses. And I had another thought. I don't know whether or not to draw in a sad clown face. Just to finish it off. Or a fake happy one. I think a sad clown one because it's going to follow the shape of the face. We're not exactly smiling right now, are we? So we'll probably go for a sad clown. But let's just get the old school clown crosses in there. We might go around and re-black our eyeliner. We'll see. Don't know whether we're going to give her eyes yet or not. But I think I've already decided in my mind we're going to go for sad clown. Might even, when it's dry, give it that old-fashioned little white dash. Show its shiny nose. Go simple eyes because it'll be like dot dot. I think I'm going to do it. Our sad clown relief is finished. Check her out. She looks so sad. It's all an act because she's a clown. She will make you laugh. That is sort of 3 things covered. An easy start into relief just using cardboard and a bit of backing of any kind. This was just some old chipboard. Yeah, chipboard. Tissue paper, optional, like tissue paper, PVA glue, paper mache style. That's optional. Oh yeah, I think there was like a touch of foil for the lips, maybe. Liquor paint, optional accessory, as well as washes and dry brushes. I think she looks cool but tragic. Let's get up close. And there she is. I put in the little classic line with the smile is hyperextended one way or the other. I gave her a little, there we go, a little shine on her nose. And the classic crosses in the eyes. And instead of a spotty bow tie, she's got a spotty business tie. Because this clown's all business. So yeah. See the relief? Oh, it looks interesting from that angle, doesn't it? Oh, that looks like a landscape now. We've got mountains, we've got trees. Hey, that's pretty cool. Oh yes, and the ocean, surrounded by the ocean. That's actually pretty cool looking at it like that. Well, look at that. She's the clown that just keeps giving. So yeah, we're getting nice and close. You can see where the washes have seeped in all the nooks. You can see here our starting coat of paint. Here, the wash seeping into the nooks. And here, the highlighting with the dry brush. Has a really cool effect when combined. I think the hair gives it the best. Because you can see quite clearly the 3 different steps. Lowlights, midlights, highlights. So yeah. Let me know what you think. Did you find that helpful? People out there who have not done relief or know of washes or dry brushes, did you find that helpful? Hope you did. Let me know in the comments. Same for those of you new to relief. Did you find this an easy enough starting point? It doesn't have to be a face. You can pick anything you want. And just to start off with, build it up out of cardboard. Raise certain areas. You don't have to have it all raised. Like you could, if you went with a face, you could keep the face in line with the background and just bring like some cheeks and nose and lips. You could just bring the eyes and have the rest in the background. So yeah, thank you so much for stopping by and checking me and my channel out. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know if you've got any suggestions, recommendations, requests, anything you want to learn that I might be able to teach you. Anything you want me to give a go. Might even be something I don't know, which is always really cool. I try lots of things that I don't know. I'm always up for expanding the knowledge. Like if you like what you see, comment if you've got something to say, and subscribe if you really like what you see and you want to see more and know when it's coming. Thank you all again so much. Take care and see you in the next one.